What is up, y'all? Double T here, back with another video. Thank you guys for checking this one out. Today we are doing something a little bit different than usual. We are going back to play some PS3 games in 2024. So if you guys have never experienced this age of gaming, maybe this generation, I guess you could say, of PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, any of the consoles or games from this era, you guys are missing out big time. So those of you guys that are subscribers to the channel, you guys know that recently I picked up a PS3 and some games, and I kind of have this project going on called Project PS3 where I'm kind of making a series out of it on the channel. But nonetheless, I've been really enjoying the PlayStation 3 so far and enjoying all the games that I've been able to play on them. And just the console in general. It's been really fun to start collecting for it and experience some of these PlayStation exclusives that I have never experienced before from the PS3 generation. So we started out, we're playing some Resistance Fall of Man. This is the first game in the Resistance series. Super fun experience so far. Of course, it does take a little bit of time getting used to the controls and things like that. At first, it might even feel a tad bit clunky, coming from, lately been playing the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, so obviously it's going to feel different from that. But, it's very similar to the 360 games on 360. It's just different. I'd never played with a PS3 controller, so even though it's so similar to the PlayStation 2 controller, which of course I have a PlayStation 2, and I love that console, I've never played with the PlayStation 3, so just taking a little bit to get used to things. But nonetheless, the experience has been absolutely phenomenal so far. And honestly, it's been a breath of fresh air going back and playing some of these PlayStation 3 games. The story mode in some of these single player games from this generation just feel different. They just hit different, honestly, than a lot of the newer games. Of course, there are some amazing newer generation games for the Xbox Series X, for the Nintendo Switch, and for the PlayStation 5, and I've experienced quite a bit of those as well and have an amazing time with them. But sometimes going back to these older games during this generation, it's just been a breath of fresh air, and the direction, the attention to detail in the story, the characters, everything like that, they just have a certain feel to them, which I absolutely love. And maybe this is nostalgia bias because I grew up during this generation, predominantly playing 360 games, single player games, multiplayer games, everything on the 360. But going back and just enjoying some of these cool campaigns, single player campaigns that I missed from back in the day from this generation, has just been awesome. So curious on your thoughts. If you guys have experienced any of these type of games from this generation before, would love to know your thoughts on them, and would love to know if you collect for the PS3, any game recommendations, anything like that. Obviously, so far I've just gotten some of the basics really for the PlayStation 3. Some exclusive, some not exclusive, but some of the basics when it comes to starting up a new collection, which is super exciting for myself. But I've got the Resistance, I've got Killzones, I've got MotorStorm, as you see here. Which, while we're on MotorStorm, let me talk on this game for a second. MotorStorm is a freaking blast. If you've never played MotorStorm, highly recommend you play it. If you don't have a PS3, unfortunately, you're not really going to be able to play it. But if you do have a PS3 and somehow haven't played MotorStorm, any of them in the series, the franchise, then I highly suggest you go try them out. This is the first MotorStorm I've played, and this is just MotorStorm 1. I know there's a couple other games in the series that I don't have yet, but it's honestly a freaking blast. And I love old school racing derby type games, and this one almost it has that arcadey vibe to it as well. But some of the cutscenes are really cool. You can actually destroy your car, which I believe you're going to see in some of these clips as well, because not the best at this game, to be honest with you. It's a little bit, it's just different to get into than some of the other classic games that I played like on 360. So still getting used to it, but having a absolute blast and a ton of fun playing it. This generation of racing games, rather it's rally car racing, arcade racing, or realistic style racing games like Horizon games or Project Gotham Racing, Split Second, Blur, MotorStorm. All of these racing games are so fun and a blast to go back to. And if you've never experienced it, I truly hope that someday you're able to experience it somehow, whether that is on the native console or some sort of ROM hack or however you emulation, maybe even. I'm not even sure if you can emulate this game, but if you could, definitely highly suggest you somehow get your hands on these games and be able to experience them. Next up, we hopped into Killzone 2, which, let me tell you something about Killzone 2. This game, this is as soon as you kind of load up, you're loading into the first mission. I was taken aback by the graphics of this game. I couldn't believe that the graphics were this well. They've held up phenomenal in my opinion. Honestly, I was not expecting. I know the PlayStation 3 has some awesome processing power, but just, I've played so many games from this generation, 360 and PS3. This game, for some reason, just really stuck out to me, and I'm sure Killzone 3 will look even better. But the graphics, man, they were just amazing. And I got into some of the gameplay, really fun. Of course, getting used to everything, getting used to how the controls work for the game and things like that. And a Killzone 2, I know, is known to be, one of the best in the franchise and one of the best PS3 games in general. So that's why, of course, I picked up Killzone 1 and 2 as soon as I got my PS3. I have Killzone 1 on the PlayStation 2 as well, and I've played that. Obviously, this is a absolutely massive step up from Killzone 1, if you guys have ever experienced that, which is a great game in itself, but obviously so many improvements to graphics, to playstyle, combat, everything when it comes to Killzone 2 on the PS3. So I am looking forward to experiencing more of the PlayStation 3. As I said, I'm just now kind of getting into this console. I love the 360, and I'm very satisfied so far with the PS3 and excited to start this collection, get more games in it, and just experience the console overall. It's been awesome so far. Let me know what game suggestions you guys might have down below. Of course, like I said, you guys can check out some of the other videos on my channel where I go over my first pickups video for the PS3, my PS3 unboxing. Yes, I got a PS3 in the original box, which I think is really cool. But going back to kind of the topic of this video, the main topic, I guess you could say, going back to the PS3 in 2024, it does not disappoint. Most people, a lot of people, if you're not like a collector or into retro gaming at all, a lot of people just play the newer consoles, the newer games. They're playing the PlayStation 5, they're playing the Nintendo Switch, which is nothing bad about that whatsoever. Play what you want to play. If you have awesome time with that and you have fun with that, stick to that. But I highly recommend you guys branch out a little bit. If you guys haven't experienced some of these older consoles, some of these older games, you guys might be surprised at the details that these games have and just the amount of fun you can have going back and playing some of these amazing campaigns, amazing stories, and even multiplayer some games. I don't think these servers for Killzone are still up, but a lot of the games, Call of Duty, things like that, the servers are still up. In PlayStation 3, you don't even have to pay for online, which is another huge bonus of the system. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and let me know if you guys liked this type of video. It's a little bit different for the channel, but and I know I was probably a little bit scatterbrained because ADHD, things like that, but and this was just straight off the dome. I didn't have anything written down or a script or anything for this video, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, and again, would love to know your thoughts on the PlayStation 3. Any game recommendations, any video recommendations for the channel, would really appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing awesome, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.